Okay, guys, I just deal with some technical difficulties. I forgot to turn on my Go XLR before I turn on my computer, and then things get all messed up. Anyways, this week has probably been some of the craziest in terms of different crimes. Okay, today I'm recording this on a Thursday. On Sunday, the Louvre was robbed. Napoleon's jewels that he gave his wife, queen at the time of France, they're stolen. Now that's a whole nother story. But on top of that, today it was announced had been running an illegal gambling operation. And let me tell you, this would be the perfect time for me to insert gambling sponsor here. I'm not above it. But they announced that this gambling ring involved not only just two people involved in the NBA, there was a few more, but Chauncey Billups, formerly of the Detroit Pistons, okay, back in the day, as well as Terry Rozier of the Miami Heat. And like I said, those are just two of the people involved in this from the NBA. Now, look, this is a developing story, so this is something that I'm going to be talking about for the next little bit. Or, you know, just because there's so much to go over, things continue to come out. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at Kash Patel's statement, because this is crazy. As some of the stuff that is being alleged, it's like, what? The mob is involved? The Italian mob is involved in this shit? This is actually crazy. It's been blowing up feeds all over the internet all day. Let's get a gist of it, because like I said, again, there is already so much. There's definitely going to be so much more. Obviously, we're going to get a couple documentaries out of this. So let's get our minds around what exactly happened and just the severity of all of this. Now, before I start this video, I wonder if you guys remember the Phil Donahue, I think his name is something like that. He was the NBA referee who was essentially fixing games. The NBA can't get past this shit. The NBA, National Basketball Association, it should be called National, I don't know. Anyways.
Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest.
This is Kash Patel.
Sweeping criminal enterprise.
Instead of going after Epstein, he's going after the NBA and the mafia.
That envelops both the NBA and La Cosa Nostra. The men
La Cosa Nostra
represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any.
I don't know about that.
Highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years.
Here's the thing. The gambling part, I don't really give a fuck about. It's the rigging of the games, okay? How often, you know, myself, a huge sports fan, you know how much it pains me to try and defend sports when you see things that may be a little fishy going on? You know, currently right now, it's like the whole Chiefs situation in the NFL, okay? They did lose the Super Bowl last year to the Philadelphia Eagles, but there's a game recently. I can't even remember who they were playing. I think they were playing the Cowboys. Anyways, a Chiefs game where there were, I think, like 11 blatant penalties that should have been called that weren't. Now, obviously, that happens in every sport, okay? Hockey, basketball, football. Not so much in baseball anymore because, you know, they started to use robots and shit and AI. You know, they're like, we got to get these calls right. But it's hard to defend sports, especially now when shit like this comes out.
The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states.
11?
Over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing.
20%?
Not only did we crack into the fraud
The United States.
These perpetrators
That's a lot.
Committed on the grand stage.
Why does this nigga keep... They should have gave this man one camera.
The NBA, but we also entered and executed
Kash, I'm up here. Look at me.
Against La Cosa Nostra, to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families. You'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. We hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure.
Okay, the one thing I just like can't help but laugh about this is it just seems so performative. A lot of like this explanation just seems so performative. And sure, go ahead, explain how you want, but here's the thing. There's a difference between outwardly being performative, like, you know, being a little exaggerated even, and then trying to be serious, but then just, you know, just making sure you're looking at every single camera. You know, it's still a little much for me, my eyes.
Men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling.
Their favorite word, fraud.
It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation.
I will say, though, there are some actual like different crimes involved in this, robberies, stuff like gunpoint, people being held at gunpoint and stuff like that. So, you know, the repercussions of some of these actions of these individuals, they do reach far beyond just a little bit of illegal gambling and such.
And we could not have done it without our interagency partners that are before us today. The NYPD, HSI, and teams of law enforcement officials from around the country made this day possible. It takes a team to bring this kind of justice, sweeping justice, into the halls of the United States courtrooms, where our brave United States attorney has led this prosecution. It takes courageous prosecutors to stand before you and say, we will not allow this kind of illicit activity to happen, not only at the national sporting level, but also where it hides in La Cosa Nostra. And when these two
must be a real handsome person to his left.
The fraud that is historic in terms of not just money, but the scheme and the deceit that they utilize to steal and swindle people from money, to include crypto fraud. This is an operation that showcases to you.
Crypto getting a shout out.
Trump's administration, there is no room for any type of.
Got to shout out the boss.
Be it on the world's largest stage or in the back rooms of tiny parlors where card games are being played. We are proud to stand here today with the men and women of the FBI and this legal team. And to the United States Attorney, I just want to thank you personally for taking the time to display the work that the media is about to hear about today in detail. As I said, it does take courageous prosecutors, but it takes a courageous United States Attorney to bring this case, because we are going to take heat for it. But we don't shy away in this administration. We don't say no. What we do is we bring the results across the finish line. We bring them to the public. We bring them accountability. And yes, they will have their day in court, and you will hear evidence through the court system exclusively.
If he doesn't think he's gonna get cooked for saying all that shit, he's out of his fucking mind. So there were a lot of different things brought forth. Terry Rozier purposely taking himself out the game, pretending to be injured. There's video clips of him just making outlandish passes directly to the opposing squad. We'll cover all that a little, you know, maybe in a few days or something. But this is what I just want to show you. This one video of the alleged marked cards with special glasses. There's a lot of details that obviously I'm not going over right now. Like I said, I'm going to be watching this for a little bit. So this video here, this is just displaying. Now, this is alleged, all alleged, of course, the type of cards with these special glasses that were being used during these underground illegal poker games, like you would see in those old action mafia movies and stuff like that. Let's take a look at this. We don't even need this volume on right now, but look at this. This is bananas, guys. Now, obviously it'd be better in this video if they just like flipped it over. We could actually see as like a queen, and also how are we supposed to know what suit some of these are as well, right? But yeah, I mean, if these are the marked cards that they're using, like, this is crazy shit. Absolutely crazy shit. And I mean, maybe not that difficult to produce, but still, the fact that they went this far, this must have been involving a whack load of money with these games. So, you know, like I said, I just want to get this out there because this shit is blowing up. And when it comes to sports, I got to talk about it. And we'll have to see how this shakes down. Okay? Wild stuff. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.